what the
Right.
fuck is going on?
This is band meeting for week 5.
Okay. So this week, so on Monday, we had the first half of our recording. And
Yeah.
it was split in half. So the people who recorded that session, would you like to say how it went and what happened?
Well, Bobby went first for that.
Yeah, actually, I managed to get it.
Go first.
Well, yeah, you did tend to go first.
Yeah,
you didn't
technically
go
you
first.
went first.
Yeah,
So you got Ghost
technically
Track.
first.
In the morning, I recorded a ghost track in one of the practice rooms, not the studio. Just singing and playing the guitar at the same time. It was alright. I found it difficult for the first sort of like at times. The click got difficult to get used to, and they started it off too quick. So we had to bring it down. It ended up at about 65 BPM. But it went well, and yeah, it was done pretty quick, and then that was used for people moving forward into the afternoon.
Yeah, and then Bobby went afterwards.
Yeah, which actually I managed to get mine done in the first take, so basically in one go, and then they wanted me to record it again, so I was like, yeah, okay, well, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
And
let's do that.
yeah, if anything, I still think the first one was better. The first take was better. But still, the second one was just as good anyway.
Have you communicated with the production group? Like, did you say, I think I want to like, if they think it's better to use the first one?
Well, they said that both are equally as good, so it's
Okay.
like whatever one kind of fits. So it's sort of like they'll take some of the best bits out of one
Yeah.
and put it over, and put it like sort of copy and paste.
Yeah.
some of it,
There was a term for it, but I can't remember what.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Okay, right. Who went next then?
It was me drumming. Yeah, so I went in, sat behind the drums, as I should, when drumming. Yeah, I did 3 takes. The first was with the ghost track, the keys, and the click. The first one was absolutely like they stopped it midway through because I was out of time. It was like, we'll stop you there, you're out of time, and I was like, yeah, I know, my bad. And then we did another one. It was a full thing through, but I did mess up a few times. But then for the last one, they took off the click and the keys, so it was a bit easier. I did ask for one more take, but they said they didn't have time. But they said they can sort of cut up the drums and make it sound good.
Yeah, right. And then afterwards,
Basically, I done my guitar part. I was playing lead. So I was very scared at first. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be horrible. But at first, I tuned my guitar up, everything was fine, and then Phil came in and was like, the guitar was out of tune, and I was like, okay, so then I tuned my guitar.
that's one thing that I had with them, because you were playing with the capo as well.
Yeah.
They retuned it with the capo
Yeah.
to what the notes would become. So like, it would be tuning to G sharp or something like that, which I hadn't sort of thought of before.
Yeah, same.
But it was very, very interesting to see how like different it was. But
Really?
it still fit well.
Yeah. And then I tried once with the metronome. It went alright the first take, but then they said that. What did they say? Wait.
Should note it down.
Alright, calm down. They said that they couldn't hear it on the recording, and I needed to play like louder, and I was like, okay, sure. And then they turned it up and realised they could hear it, so
Okay.
they were, yeah. So then and then Phil came in and asked me to play like 2 different chords. It was an E and an A something, I don't know. Because he was gonna because obviously like with panning, it's coming out in 2 different channels. So then one of the guitar parts would be in one of the channels and the other one would be on the other side. So that sounded pretty cool. And then they had to take the guitar solo I done and put it onto a different track so that they could, I don't know, they done something with
Maybe
the
like boost
recording.
it, make it a bit louder.
Yeah. And then when I listened to it the next day, they've added like a bunch of stuff to it and it sounds really cool. And then the next day, who was first?
Right. Well,
Well,
we
if we
talk
stay
about
on
the rehearsal first.
Yeah. While you Eva and you Calum were recording your parts on that Monday, we used the session like while you was recording to go over like the bass parts that we were going to record the next day, and then slightly touch on the second original song, and then we managed to come up with the bass line idea for the next day, and then for the next day we started by recording the bass line. We got that down. And then was it after me?
Yeah, so I went after.
There we go.
You did it in a couple of takes, didn't you?
Second take.
And this is
Yeah.
Tuesday morning.
Second
this is
take, that was
Tuesday
pretty
morning.
good.
And yeah, for mine, I recorded, so I did the acoustic first and then I did the vocals after. While I was in the booth with the headphones, I had an unexpected thing happen because when I took them off, my earring like fell apart, which had never happened before, and it threw me off a little bit. And they sort of didn't really care. The producers were just like, right, get on with it. So I sort of just had to very quickly just move on, and 10 seconds later I was starting the take. And yeah, I did that a couple of times. I think the second time round it was better on the guitar. So I was happy I did a second take for it. Just getting used to the click and things like that. And also the duration of the song, it is quite hard to stay focused for all of it and stay on time and with everything.
Yeah.
But it helps having the other parts in.
It's very easy to zone out when you're doing it.
It
I
is.
found that with the bass line especially. Like the first take, it was good, but I slightly zoned out towards the end of the song.
Especially with the drums as well. I'm sat there for half the song just waiting.
Yeah, trying to remember where each
I know where I had
section
to
is.
come in, and then I'm just listening and start daydreaming. I'm like, oh, I need to come in here.
Getting used to the click is something that's a little bit tricky to begin with. I found that. But yeah, so we managed to get bass down, vocals.
I did the vocals after, and yeah, the vocals went well until I started overthinking it. So first take I did was better than the second take because I started overthinking about just my breathing technique, and I became too focused on it, and that made my voice a bit shaky and a bit inconsistent. But overall that went well. They quite liked it. It was the first time I'd used the vocal booth, so that was good.
Go on.
Go
And then I done my backing vocals. They struggled. Like I was trying to explain like that I came in on the second chorus and they kept playing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Which.
So they didn't put the markers in the Logic,
Yeah.
did they?
So I was kind of like panicking about that at first. I was like, oh my god, this is stressful. It's just stressful being in that environment,
Yeah.
because it's like you have to get it right.
Yeah.
But it went really well. Like when they got that, like I done it quite quickly, and yeah, there isn't really much to say about the backing vocals.
I gave you a little sheet with notes
Yeah.
on that.
Freddie gave me a sheet with the lyrics on because sometimes I get them mixed up in the
Yeah,
rehearsal.
it is very
Yeah.
confusing.
But
to be
yeah, I think everything went really
Yeah.
well.
fair. And then we had
Tuesday,
Tuesday afternoon.
Which we just did a bit of everything really.
Yeah.
We went over
Yeah.
Hummingbird a few
Ran
times.
through all three of our songs on our set list.
Yeah,
Um,
but we more sort of arranged.
yeah, we
the third
arranged the second
Sort
original as our
of
third song.
Is there anything we could have improved on that rehearsal, like with like each song, like Hummingbird?
I think Hummingbird we've got better at.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we were 100% prepared for the.
The second half just doesn't seem to be put together well
It's-
enough.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's a little bit off.
I think
still.
it is still a little bit improvisational at parts. We don't have. We are like when we rehearse, we don't have drums in it.
Yeah.
I feel like for the gig we don't need drums. It sounds
No,
good
I've
without
already
it.
asked that guy.
It's a relatively boring song, so it would be
It's-
nice to have it.
Drums would help lift it a little bit.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, Hummingbird was okay. The next song we did a few times.
Like I Wanna Be, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, the timings and the tempo and the like entrances between choruses and verses were a little bit off at points, but it was quite similar to how we'd done in other rehearsals. And
Yeah.
then we moved on to the next song,
Cruel.
which we split off into. So some people transposed the chords and worked out what like the parts would be based around. Bobby, you found a good tone
Yeah.
on the
Found a
keyboard.
sort of,
Yeah.
well, I call it a jazz organ, but then I turned the drive basically all the way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I had a rotary pedal as well,
Yeah.
so it sounds pretty nice as well.
Yeah, and yeah, that worked really well. We had Ryan come in for the drums when we ended up sort of learning it. I taught either the rhythm part, which you got very, very quickly.
And then I think Liam went out
Cool.
with the bass as well and sort of.
yeah,
Yeah, just
Um,
copied the root notes mainly and added some like alternative picking on the bass
Yeah.
line.
And then while you were doing that, I sort of figured out the chords, and then I was just telling Bobby what they were.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we went through that a couple of times. We're gonna need to practice that a lot more, obviously.
We have got. I think we were able to have Monday morning rehearsal as well.
Yeah,
And also we
We're
might be
gonna do-
coming in for.
I think we need to do Friday.
Yeah, we were thinking of coming in for another rehearsal.
We'll have to arrange
Um,
that.
But yeah, we're going to talk to Phil about that because we haven't got that long left and there is quite a bit of stuff that needs working on.
Yes. And we're also we've got ideas for maybe having a possible music video for when we post it on YouTube. And yeah, we discussed where we're gonna post the song. It's gonna be YouTube and SoundCloud.
And then promote it on our Instagram
Yeah,
and
social
social
media,
media.
social media.
Made a TikTok as well. So yeah. Anything that anyone else would like to say about how this week's gone or about things for the future?
I think we've done well considering how short the project is. Like, it wasn't ever going to be easy. Like,
Getting the recordings done. didn't you?
yeah, so I think we've done a really good job.
I feel like if we had a different song other than Hummingbird, we would have managed to get a fourth because Hummingbird took us a while.
Yeah, Hummingbird is almost like two songs in one because the second
Yeah.
verse is very different in
Yeah.
its chord changes.
It's like, it's the same sort of rhythm, just like,
Different
That's it,
chords.
yeah.
It shifted.
it's like
and
completely
it's still in
different
the same
keyboard.
key as I think it's still in the same key technically, but it
Yeah,
uses
but
the
it's
same
like-
chords,
Yeah.
just in a different arrangement.
So yeah, Hummingbird is really difficult, and the thing for the gig that I'm worried about is we've got two songs that are quite minimalistic, quite slow, and we've got one song that is more rocky that will be good. But
Stick that one at the end.
Yeah, we are. We're
Oh,
going to do one
Arrange
at
the
the
set
end.
list.
But compared to other bands who got given other songs that were, more rock kind of songs and more classic alternative songs, their inspired song from that could also be more like that, and so they have a more
Rock type sound.
energetic, and rock.
Upbeat.
Yeah,
It's like what I keep complaining
So-
about Hummingbird has no energy to it. It's
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't.
it's
really
got
have-
emotion, just not energy
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it'll be difficult to
to pull off.
get the crowd up.
Mm.
And especially as we're now closing, I think that will be difficult, and we're just going to need to work on just, especially for the final song, building it up, building the tension, doing crescendos just throughout, and yeah, having it really set up well and organised and on point, so that we leave sort of a mark.
Yeah.
Real as hell.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
Spoke about the recording, spoke about rehearsals,
And then
We've got
plans for the
plans.
gig.
planning
Yeah.
for the gig. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's mainly everything gone over.
Cool.